Let us create a new assistant. I'll call it Using AI in Research, and as instruction, I will say you are a researcher and you wish to understand the use of AI in scientific research. I will select a model. At this time, I will not enable knowledge retrieval. I want to see the message pass back from the assistant based on my message, the user message. The message will be, I am a researcher and I want to know whether AI and ChatGPT is useful and accurate to assist me in writing credible scientific papers. So first, I need to save the assistant, of course. The assistant has been created, and I'll run my query. The assistant will run it. Here we can see a thread has been created. Note the thread ID. A message has been posted on the thread. There's a run against the message. The status was queued. Then it went into in progress. The assistant is processing the query using the model GPT-4 Turbo Preview. And at some point, it will respond back with a message. So the run is completed. It took 614 tokens, and that is the response from our assistant. It is fairly broad. It's listing advantages and considerations for using AI and ChatGPT. It is helpful with literature review, data analysis, ideation, citation, and these are some considerations. We can see that the response is fairly broad. I want to enhance the response based on a literature that I found. This is the file that I will add to the assistant. I found this on this site, springer.com. You can download it. So I am going to add the file to the assistant. I can add it to the assistant as well as the thread. In this case, I'm going to add it to the assistant. The file is being uploaded. Now I will pass the same message. I am a researcher and I want to know whether AI and ChatGPT is going to be helpful, accurate. And I'll run it again. Note it is on the same thread. We are posting messages on the same thread. The assistant is processing the same thread. An assistant can process other threads. In this case, it's processing this thread. The thread contains our messages. The status of the run was queued. Then it went into in progress. And once it is completed, yet again, the run will go in a state of completed and we'll get our response. The run has completed and the state of the run is completed. This is the number of tokens that was used, and we have our response. Let's review our response. It's the same as before. The reason being, we have uploaded the file, but we haven't enabled retrieval. Let me enable retrieval. So in the second run, the file wasn't used. Even though I uploaded the file, it wasn't used. So I'll pass my message a third time and let's see what happens. It has responded back with a message. And this time, it says that 70% of the references cited were found to be inaccurate, and that is from the source which we provided. That is the file that we provided. And as you can see, it is fairly specific. It is using the file as a reference to enhance its knowledge in addition to the model that we selected. So that is one way to enhance the capabilities of your model by passing further files and knowledge to your assistant. Let us see the process. We created an assistant. We chose a model. Then, as a user, we created a message and placed it on the thread for the assistant to process. The assistant processed the message. There were a number of steps, and the assistant responded with a message. We reviewed the message and we found that the message or the response from the assistant was quite broad and general. We thought about adding a file to the thread or the assistant. In the end, we added the file to the assistant. We passed the same message onto the thread for the assistant to process. It went through a number of steps and responded with a similar message. Then we decided to use the knowledge retrieval tool so that the assistant uses the file. We passed a message onto the thread, that is a third message. There were a number of steps carried out by the assistant, and the assistant responded with a more targeted, more refined response to our original query. So these are the steps that we went through earlier.